Now, I want to give you a little update of the most important thing happening in college sports that you may not realize. This week, all of the major conferences are meeting to decide whether or not to approve the settlement in the case House versus NCAA. Ryan, are you familiar with this at all?
No.
Ryan has not been reading on the biggest settlement that's coming in college sports. Read up on it.
Oh, well.
But this is what is happening. A group of lawyers sued on behalf of all college players of all time, which is quite a class, basically saying you all withheld money from players for years and took it to your own enrichment. Sued for $20 billion.
Holy cow.
$20 billion.
Goodness.
They are, reports say, about to settle for $2 billion. $2 billion.
Still a huge settlement.
I'd love to have those attorney's fees. You wouldn't have to work again. But basically the settlement looks like this. Each school will commit to an amount of money to pay the past damages and the future damages. Basically, this would be the lawsuit that would settle all lawsuits to ever come about giving money to college players directly. Basically, Shannon paying players, right?
Right.
And colleges would agree in the major conferences to pay up to $20 million a year to be shared amongst players in all the various sports. Now, it's not clear who would get what. That's still to come. But for the NCAA, they want this because this would basically mean that from now on, they wouldn't have to worry about being sued because they don't pay these guys. It would essentially set the precedent forever of how athletes will get compensated. There's a lot of talk about how the money's going to come. The NCAA is going to pay for some of it. Small colleges are going to pay for some of it. Big colleges are going to pay for a lot of it. But ultimately, this would make it to where players would get paid and all past claims that people listening, many of you listening may be former D1 athletes. You might end up with a check one day, Ryan, for some amount of money. Probably a small amount of money, but maybe some amount of money. Now, here's the part that matters. When this happens, schools are going to have to take up to $20 million a year and set aside for athletes. That is a massive sum of money. The ramifications of that are going to be something that people don't even realize yet. For instance, I think we will see coaches' salaries on the whole, Ryan, go down.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen. I think those nice new buildings, you ain't going to see as many of them. Because now everybody has to factor in the $20 million in their budget. And now this is a big thing. I think every college in America in Division I, including Kentucky, is going to have to cut sports. It's going to happen. Every school is going to see sports cut. Kentucky has 23 programs on their campus. Ohio State, Drew, has 36.
Ooh.
Some of those are going to go away. They just are. I don't know what they'll be. I think every college will have to make their own choice. They also have to follow Title IX, so when they cut one program, they'll have to cut another program maybe on the other side. But we are going to see this summer, while I'm gone, probably the most fundamental structural shift in college athletics of all time. Likely with this year and next year, the ending of college programs at nearly every school, and in a completely different way that the college budgets are going to have to be organized. Ryan, I would argue this is the biggest change that has come to college sports maybe since integration. and it's coming, and I don't think most people even realize it. There's been a lot of focus on NIL and the transfer portal, and that stuff matters. But this goes at the whole heart of the foundation and what college sports is. I think it's a good thing, because if they don't do this, it's all going to fall apart in the next few years, which is why I think they're all going to do it. But we will see massive structural change coming in the next year to two that will, in 2 years, college sports will look completely different than it does right now.